Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take a stack of sources, really boil them down, and give you the essential insights you need. Plus, hopefully a few surprises. So today, we're plunging into something that, well, it touches every single one of us, often without us even realizing the full extent.
Right.
How our digital lives are, profoundly impacting our mental well-being. We're going to unpack things like social media, obviously, but also the huge shift to remote work and even AI. How are these things reshaping how we feel, how we think, and maybe crucially, how we connect?
That's exactly it. And like you said, this isn't just about, hours spent staring at a screen. It's deeper.
More fundamental.
Oh, way more fundamental. Our digital world is actively, maybe subtly, but powerfully kind of rewiring our brains. It's reshaping our emotional landscapes. We're only just starting to really get it.
Right.
So our mission here for this deep dive is to pull out the most important bits from the material, help you grasp these key impacts, and importantly, what we can actually do about it. What are the actionable steps?
Okay, let's get into it. And yeah, we have to start with the big one, social media.
The elephant in the digital room, yeah.
It's everywhere. I mean, a 2024 global study says the average person spends over 2.5 hours a day on these platforms.
2.5 hours. Wow.
But here's the kicker, the paradox.
Okay.
Even with all this supposed connecting, loneliness rates, anxiety rates, they've skyrocketed at the same time.
Right.
So why? Why are we feeling more isolated when we're seemingly more connected?
Well, one really fascinating piece is how these platforms think Instagram, TikTok, how they're actually engineered.
Okay.
They use these really complex algorithms, basically smart systems, designed to learn what grabs you, what hooks you.
Right. Personally.
Exactly. They feed you stuff that gets a strong emotional reaction because, well, that keeps you watching, keeps your eyes on the screen. So think of it less like a neutral bulletin board and more like a personalized emotional roller coaster designed to maximize engagement. And yeah, sometimes that's positive emotion, but often it's negative. Envy, outrage, that classic FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah, FOMO. And that constant comparison game, it just sort of seeps in, doesn't it?
It really does.
We end up comparing our real lives, the messy, everyday stuff.
The behind the scenes.
Exactly. To someone else's carefully crafted highlight reel.
Yeah.
That perfect, polished version they put online.
It's like comparing your raw camera footage to a movie trailer.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And it's no wonder then, when you look at the stats, depression among teens, especially girls, has just shot up over the last decade.
Which brings up this really important point about the dopamine loop.
Explain that.
So you post something, right? A picture, an update. Then you wait. You wait for the likes, the comments.
Checking your phone.
Constantly. And each notification, boom, little hit of dopamine, that feel-good brain chemical. It's a quick hit of validation.
Okay.
But then what happens when the likes slow down? Or you don't get the reaction you hoped for?
The crash.
Exactly. Your mood can just plummet, and it becomes this cycle, up and down, totally driven by external nods of approval, and that can seriously mess with our own sense of self-worth, our intrinsic value.
It's a powerful pattern, and often, like you said, subtle. We don't even realize it's happening.
Very much so. Unconscious a lot of the time.
So, okay, if we understand this mechanism, what can we actually do? Beyond just saying, I'm going to have less screen time, which is hard.
Right. It feels like fighting a giant.
Yeah. Are there specific strategies, more nuanced things than just a full digital detox?
Oh, definitely. It's way more than just raw willpower. The real shift comes from being intentional.
Intentional. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, a detox can be a good reset, sure. But the lasting power is in building thoughtful habits, like actively choosing who you follow.
Curating your feed.
Exactly. Follow accounts that actually uplift you or inform you in a positive way, not ones that just make you feel envious or inadequate.
Yep.
And setting specific times for scrolling. Treat it like, like going to the gym. Schedule it.
Instead of it just bleeding into every gap in the day.
Precisely. And honestly, one of the most effective things, turn off most notifications.
Oh, yeah.
Each buzz, each ping, it's a tiny interruption. It pulls your focus. It pulls your mood. Just reclaim that control.
That makes a lot of sense. And it all really underlines that key point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What we see online, it just isn't the full picture. It isn't real life.
Not even close.
Those genuine moments, the joy, the growth, real connection, that stuff happens off the screen.
Absolutely. The richness is often in those unshared, unfiltered moments.
Yeah. But that feeling of disconnect, it's not just social media, is it? It's also become a huge feature of another massive change, remote work.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, it exploded during the pandemic, obviously.
Yeah.
And now for so many people, it's just the way things are.
It's the new normal for a lot of industries.
And look, there are massive benefits. We know that. Flexibility, no commute, maybe more family time. But what's the flip side? The hidden cost.
Well, there's definitely a significant dark side that we're seeing more and more clearly.
Okay.
When your home is your office, those lines just get incredibly blurred.
Yeah.
That feeling of, oh, I'll just check one more email, or I'll just finish this one thing. It makes it really hard to properly switch off.
The always-on culture.
Exactly. And that leads pretty directly to chronic overwork and, burnout. It's telling that the World Health Organization now actually recognizes burnout.
As a real thing, an occupational phenomenon.
Precisely. And what's striking is studies show remote workers consistently report higher levels of burnout than people working in the office.
That's counterintuitive, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think less commute, more control.
You would, but maybe it's that lack of boundary, and then there's the isolation factor.
Right. Let's talk about that, because it's not just about the work itself. It's the lack of, casual office chat.
The water cooler moments.
Yeah. Or grabbing a quick coffee, or just that spontaneous teamwork that happens face-to-face. Over time, that lack of connection can really lead to a deep feeling of loneliness.
Sort of quiet erosion of social connection.
I know for me, sometimes end of a day packed with remote calls, I realize I haven't actually spoken face-to-face with another adult who isn't on a screen.
It's so easy for that to happen, and that human need for just ambient social connection, it's profound. And this seems to hit younger employees particularly hard. Studies show Gen Z workers, for instance, they often feel more disconnected, less supported when they're fully remote.
Why do you think that is?
Well, they might be missing out on those informal mentorship moments, learning by observing, the organic team bonding that just sort of happens when you share a physical space.
That makes sense. So given all that, how do we fight back? How do we protect our mental health when the office is the kitchen table?
It really comes down to creating very deliberate boundaries.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, physical boundaries. Have a dedicated workspace, even if there's just a corner of a room. Signal to your brain, this is work time space. That is home time space.
Right, create that separation.
And just as important, time boundaries. Define your working hours and stick to them. Make a real effort to log off, not just close the laptop, but mentally clock out.
Maybe have a little ritual, like close the laptop, go for a walk.
Exactly, something that signals the end of the workday. And tying back to the isolation piece, be proactive about connection.
Don't just wait for work meeting.
Right. Schedule a quick virtual coffee or even just a quick video call to say hi to a colleague. Remind yourself and them that you're part of a team. You're not alone.
So important. Okay, so we've covered social media, remote work, kind of the present-day digital landscape.
Yeah.
But what about what's coming or what's already creeping in?
The future.
Let's talk AI. Artificial intelligence, it's everywhere in the headlines, transforming work, creativity. But what's it doing to our minds, our psychology?
Yeah, AI it's complex, isn't it? Definitely a double-edged sword.
Yeah. How so?
Well, on one hand, you see incredible potential for mental health support. Think about AI chatbots offering initial therapy guidance, or maybe apps that can subtly detect mood changes in how you type or talk.
Interesting. So AI is a support tool.
Potentially, yes. But then the other edge of the sword is that deep kind of existential fear.
The robots are taking our jobs. Fear.
Exactly. Will AI automate my job? What happens to my sense of purpose, my value, if a machine can do what I thought made me uniquely human?
And that's not just some vague future worry. That job insecurity is real now. I saw a 2025 survey. Nearly 60% of workers fear losing their jobs to automation or AI in the next 5 years.
60%, that's huge.
And that kind of uncertainty, that constant low-level threat, well, it breeds chronic stress. People are feeling it.
Absolutely. And you could argue, okay, AI might create new jobs too.
Right, the optimistic view.
But the anxiety isn't just about if jobs change, it's the pace of change, the uncertainty. It feels like the ground is shifting really fast under our feet.
Unsettled.
And layered on top of that stress is just information overload.
Because AI can generate so much content.
So much. Articles, videos, music, code. Our brains are, frankly, struggling to process this avalanche of data.
Cognitive overload.
Yeah, and decision fatigue. Just trying to filter and make sense of it all takes enormous mental energy.
And then there's the emotional side too, right?
Yeah.
Actually interacting with AI. maybe instead of humans.
That's a really interesting and slightly worrying development.
How so?
Well, you see people turning to AI for conversation, for advice, maybe even companionship.
Like that movie Her?
Sort of, yeah. And look, for some needs, maybe for people feeling very isolated, it could be helpful. It can offer a non-judgmental ear, perhaps, but it doesn't replicate the richness, the complexity, the reciprocity of human empathy, real relationships.
So it could be a crutch that actually deepens isolation in the long run for some.
That's the potential risk. We have to remember, fundamentally, we're social creatures. Our brains are wired for real connection, eye contact, shared experience.
For the tribe.
Exactly. And no matter how smart AI gets, it just doesn't replace that core human need for authentic, messy, real-world relationships.
Something to think about. So here's a question maybe for you listening. How are you using AI day to day? Is it a helpful tool for you? Or does it just add another layer of stress worth reflecting on?
And hearing all this, I know it can feel a bit overwhelming. Social media traps, remote work burnout, AI anxiety.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But the key thing is, we are not powerless in this. Absolutely not. There are concrete things we can do.
Okay, so let's break those down. What's step one?
Awareness. Simple as that.
Just noticing.
Just noticing. Realizing that these digital tools do impact your mental health. That realization alone is a huge step. It gets you asking the right questions.
Right.
Like, what digital habits actually drain my energy? What leaves me feeling worse? And conversely, what truly recharges me, both on-screen and, crucially, off-screen?
That's self-inquiry. Okay, step two.
Intentional use. Intentionality.
Taking back control.
Exactly. Don't let the tech run your life. You run the tech. Schedule your social media time, like we said. Take real breaks. Use the tools available focus mode on your phone, apps that limit screen time, set boundaries.
Say the boss of your phone, not the other way around.
Precisely. Step 3.
Okay.
Human connection. Real live human connection.
This is critical.
It's maybe the most critical. It's not just nice to have. Our brains are literally wired for it. We need that sense of community, belonging.
Studies show tangible benefits, right? Like lower stress, better health.
Absolutely. Strong social ties correlate with everything from higher pain thresholds to lower rates of chronic disease. So making time for real conversations, call a friend, have lunch with someone, join a group. It's not fluff. It's fundamental.
Community is medicine. I like that.
It really is. It reinforces the very brain networks that help us cope with stress. And the final step.
Right.
Prioritize getting support when you need it. Mental health support.
Don't wait until you're completely burned out.
Please don't. Don't wait for the crisis. If you're struggling, talk to someone. A therapist, a counselor. Join a support group. Even just open up honestly to someone you trust.
Seeking help is strength.
Absolutely. It's taking care of yourself.
So the big picture here is, the digital world isn't going away. It's here. It's evolving incredibly fast.
No doubt.
But with awareness, with intention, with prioritizing real connection and support, we can navigate it. We can stay grounded.
We can protect what makes us human and actually leverage the technology for good rather than letting it leverage us.
Well put.
Thanks so much for diving deep with us on this today. If you found this useful, maybe share it with a friend or perhaps leave us a review. It really does help other people find this kind of exploration.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so until next time, try to stay present, stay connected, and really, truly take care of your mind.